Millions have fled Syria, but there are tens of thousands who can't get out.
Good evening. It's rare that we have to warn you right from the top of the newscast about what you're about to see.
Imagine the terror. Never knowing where and
human
when.
Catastrophe that we can't close our eyes to.
The immigration crisis in Europe.
3 children drowned.
Syrian refugees.
It's become a symbol of the desperation.
A surge of refugees.
Among the dead, several children, including a baby girl.
This is my recent installation. It's my response to the horror of the forgotten, ejected people from Syria and what they're having to go through in order to find a place to exist when no one wants them, basically. This, just a quick word about how it reads, as if it was a novel or something less than a novel, a visual novel that's read from left to right. So this is a very stable image. It is a canvas that is stretched and has structure and a sense of permanence. But moving across, there's an event, an event that has been injected. In this case, really not voluntarily, but by coincidence or time. But a kind of an act of change, if not violent change. These portraits, all of these portraits, were not originally meaning as much as 3 years ago or so, and from that time, for that time, I've been doing these portraits without really knowing why, except that they had to be done for some reason. So they are individuals, they are the lost people, but without the intention of being lost. And that's how I sort of to myself validate what the portraits are, and that they're kind of meaningless in a way, originally meaningless, but have taken on suddenly, because of the wretched stuff that the media has been giving us all, they now have a meaning to me that I am imposing into my work, really for the first time. This drapery, what seems to be drapery, are paintings of mine that I've changed the structure of. So these are representing vibrations or waves or occurrences or barriers. They seem to be short of violent, but they are interruptions for sure. So these faces continue on and they sort of pile up, as is happening with all of the refugees. And toward the end here, they grow in size, in individual size. These are almost like survivors that have left a lot of the people who, let's not forget that they are people who did not survive. So they become more individual and more angry until it just is almost unbearable. And a quick story at the end, or almost the end, I was finished hanging this, exhausted, and went to the elevator, got in, and this feather was lying on the floor, which suddenly had a huge impact on a kind of punctuation, a very feeble kind of exclamation point, and found the feather on the floor of the elevator and pinned it here as this being the end, a sort of very feeble, is it really worth living kind of end, if that's what it amounts to. There is, down here, this is a sort of culmination piece. It's the last piece I did before I stopped working on all of that. It's very crude, it's very rough, it's mostly just charcoal. And I love this gigantic figure here of strength and power and resolve and hope, and he's looking back almost in retrospect of something that he and his child, a woman, and then this very sardonic, sarcastic, cynical face, almost mocking the whole experience here. Really brings the thing to an ultimate end so that it becomes cyclical again. And that's basically the story behind this installation.